Okay, so the Chogan here is well, it's solid. It's on the what would we call it? The staff here. Okay, on the handle. All right, and it's on solid. Okay, and when I say solid, I mean I've hit it a few times on the ground. You know, in different ways, and it just won't come off. That's how good the fit is. Now, whether it's the fit that's just really good, or whether it's actually been glued into place, I don't know. And I'd hope it hasn't been glued into place, because one of the good things about using a tomahawk is the fact that you can actually take it off the handle when you need to, and then you can just use this tool, part of the tool here. Okay, so you can turn it into an adze, or you can just use this part for like whatever you want to use it for, scaling or whatever. Okay, so having that ability is really important, so that the head here should be able to slide off without too much problems. Okay, all you need to be able to do is just give it a good knock, and it should be able to come off. And obviously, when you put it back on, give it a good knock on the ground or something to lock it back in place again. That's how you want it. And at the moment, this is far too tight. Okay, it shouldn't have to be that case. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you. I've got two down here, if you can see. Alright, I've got 2 blocks of wood, alright, down here on the picnic table here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to hammer this the head off. Alright, and so I've done it like this so that I've got a bit more power hitting down onto it. And my first attempt is going to be with this mullet here, rubber mullet. Alright, the main thing is, why I'm doing it like this is, one, to give other people an idea of how to attempt to do this. And the other thing is, if this here splits, alright, I'm going to see if I can get another handle from them, because it shouldn't be like this. This is not part of how it should be, okay, as I just explained. So I'm just going to I'm using wood so that it's I'm not going to damage anything, and it's a little bit more, it's going to take a little bit more of the impact. Okay, so here we go. Hopefully I don't whack my hand. Alright, it might come back here a little bit. So the key here is we also don't want to drop this and damage this on the concrete, so hopefully that's going to be the case. So I'll give it a reasonable sort of a knock here. Okay, that's quite a solid hit. Try it again. Okay, not getting anywhere, eh? By the looks of it. Try another one. It felt like it, yeah, it felt like it moved just then. That felt like it moved. Yeah, that's moving. Now it's moving, okay? So we can see here, I don't know if you can see that in the light, but you can just see that she's moved about, I don't know, almost 5 or 6 millimeters there, which is good. And underneath here you can see the wood here is it's catching on the wood, it's tearing that up. Okay, so I've actually been sanding this down, and what I was going to do is I was going to apply linseed oil to this, and I thought, you know what, nah, I'm going to do this properly, do it properly the first time, or not at all. And so I wanted to make sure that I get all the linseed oil and everything else in here as well, in behind the actual handle, because I don't know I don't know what sort of oil they were using on here before. It sort of was like a lacquer, but I want to make sure that it's properly done, so I can sand this whole thing down, and at the same time I can check the inside of this tomahawk head and see if it needs filing down or smoothing down, because you want a perfect fit. So you want the inside of this head smooth, and you want obviously the handle here smooth. Okay, so, and it should be able to slide on smoothly without causing any damage. Okay, and slide off smoothly without causing any damage. So just this coming off causing damage is obviously an issue straight away. Alright, but let's carry on. Shouldn't be too hard to get the rest off, I don't think. So hopefully everyone can see how this is getting done. Okay, a couple of pieces of wood the same size. Alright, just a little bit of paper just to take a bit of the impact, because you don't really want it to split down the handle here. Okay, that's the last thing you want. Okay, and obviously a bit of paper to take a little bit of the impact, the pressure as well. And well, it allows you to keep your hands in a safe place as well, which is good. Okay, there we go. Alright, so we've got it down about, I don't know, maybe 2 centimeters now, about 20 millimeters. Okay, and that you can see in here that's definitely, if you can get it a bit closer. Alright, I don't know if you can see that, but that's definitely not sanded down in there. Okay, that's quite rough. Alright, that's quite rough indeed. We don't want it like that. We don't want any gaps. There's lots of gaps here. So I'm glad I've done this. I'm glad I've actually taken this off, because I'm going to be able to sand this down perfectly, so it should just slide on, slide off, slide on, slide off. Okay, I should be able to get the rest of it off, no problem now. Alright, so there we go. You can see here where it's actually been sitting. It's almost like they've pushed it on, and whether they've pushed it on and then this part here looks thinner. I'll come back slightly, sorry. This part here where it's been sitting on looks thinner, which is the reason why it's such a solid tight fitting on there. And then it's almost like, I'd have to get my calipers out, but it's almost like this part here goes wide again and then down like a normal handle, so it looks like one piece. Yeah, okay, so what I'm going to have to do is sand all this down. Sand it all down. Alright, I'll just sand it. It's not that bad. I don't need to file it by the looks of it. Okay, let's have a look on the inside. Of this. Okay. Yeah, so even on the inside, let's see, I don't know if you can see this. Okay, you can see, just see in there, just see at the top piece. I'll try and get my finger up in there. You can just see up in there, just above my fingers, there's a couple of metal pieces there. Okay, that are those are going to have to be filed down. I'm going to have to file those down with a metal file, okay, and smooth all that off. Okay, there's another couple up here on this side, on the other side, on the blade side. And if you can, I'll try and get the light right. Might be able to. Yeah, you can probably see that up the top there, just down there, just near the top. Okay, couple in there. So those parts here are going to need to be filed out. Okay, so you want the inside of this, all of in here is smooth as. You want it smooth like you've used a real fine sandpaper as well. Okay, so you want the inside of this really smooth, and you want the outside of the handle really smooth as well. And you want it so that the axe head can slide up, okay, and go into this position here where it's supposed to go without causing any damage to the handle. Alright, however, when it gets up here, it's going to sit in nice and firmly, okay? And then when you want to take the axe head off, okay, the head of it off, all it should take is a reasonable sort of a bump, okay, or a bang, okay, knocking it on something, and it'll come off without damaging the handle, okay, because we don't want to put a lot of work into the handle and have it damaged. So in order to do that, we want to make sure we file all of the inside of this out and make it nice and smooth. And this part of this handle here needs to be so that it can slide up without causing any damage, but still do its job up here. Okay, so yeah, I'm really glad that I've done this. Okay, so now I can get into sanding all this down and get into some extra work tonight. And bought myself some sorry, I bought myself some boiled linseed oil. Okay, there's two types of linseed oil. There's raw linseed oil and there's boiled linseed oil. Okay, and the linseed oil, you want to use the boiled linseed oil, alright, because they're two different things. The boiled linseed oil has additives. It has additives put into it, and that, then they call it boiled. It's not actually literally boiled. They don't actually put it on an oven or on a cooker or anything and boil it. It's just called boiled once it's got the additives added to it. Okay, but that's the one you want to use, the boiled one. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it at that, and I'm going to get into the sanding down of this and the filing down of the head, and I'll catch up with you as I continue to do little updates on the progression of modding this or getting it up to standard. Okay, but I wasn't actually going to show this, but this is where I'm up to with the sanding. I was actually sanding this here down, okay, and you can see the grain's been coming through really nice. Okay, I sanded all the lacquer off it, okay, and so it's got quite a nice grain. There's still a few parts in here that have like what feel like little gashes in it, like almost like little cracks or dents. Okay, nothing too major. Once I sand it down further, okay, so it gets those out. That's what you want. You don't want anything in it that might allow the handle to break. Okay, you don't want any weak points on it. Okay, so we want to file that down so it's perfectly smooth. Okay, and there's absolutely nothing you can feel in it. Not even with the key is to feel with your fingernails. Okay, so if I feel that part there, that's nice and smooth there. But if I get my fingernail and I go against the grain, I can feel little parts where my fingernails dig into these like little cracks. Okay, where the things are. So we don't want that. That means it needs to go down further. All right, and that's not a problem because you're just preventing it from being breaking when you start banging it about and smashing this thing around. Okay, which is what it's designed to do. The linseed oil, when we start using the linseed oil, that will also help fill in any pores on the handle, and also give it that added strength. Okay, anything that we might miss at all, you know, the linseed oil will help fill that in, with also as we sand it as well. We put some, so basically what we do is we put linseed oil onto this, a really light layer. We get a very fine sandpaper, okay, or steel, whatever you want to use, and we just slightly sand it. And the sanding, the bits of wood that are coming off as we're lightly sanding it, go in with the linseed oil, and it helps to fill in any of those little cracks or gaps or pores in the wood and make it stronger. Okay, it's a strong wood, this hickory, but it'll make it stronger. Alright, and so that's what we want to do. And then after we've used the linseed oil and we've sanded it down, we're going to let it cure for about 10 days. Alright, let it cure for about 10 days. And then once we've done that, we'll do it again. Okay, let it cure for another 10 days, and then we'll repeat the process for about 4 or 5 times. Okay, and get a really nice beautiful stave or staff, okay, or handle, whatever you want to call it. Alright, and from there we'll leave it at that, and I'll catch up with you as we progress, okay. I don't want to do too many videos because it'll make it too long on it. But anyway, catch you shortly. Bye bye.